In a major enhancement of its maritime strike capabilities, Japan has successfully upgraded the destroyer JS Chōkai to employ U.S.-built Tomahawk land attack cruise missiles. The warship is slated to test launch the missile in August. The modification makes JS Chōkai the first vessel in the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, JMSDF, capable of conducting long-range precision strikes against targets hundreds of miles away, marking a significant shift in Japan's defense posture and its ability to project conventional firepower across the Indo-Pacific. The upgrade represents a key element of Japan's broader strategy to develop a credible standoff strike capability, allowing its self-defense forces to engage hostile targets from well beyond the reach of most enemy defensive systems. To support this initiative, Tokyo finalized an agreement last year to procure 400 Tomahawk cruise missiles from the United States, even as indigenous standoff missile programs continue to mature. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes how Japanese Navy is set to be capable of long-range fires with Tomahawk integration. Before we proceed, a word on NordVPN, which is one of the most trusted and fastest VPN brand that has a no-log policy validated by Deloitte. NordVPN provides a 256-bit encrypted tunnel that protects your privacy and also enables you to access contents that are blocked based on geolocation. Its threat protection system helps you avoid phishing, scams, and malware. NordVPN application is available for all the major platforms as well as browsers. Get an exclusive NordVPN deal with massive saving by going to nordvpn.com/defense or clicking the link in the description. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Under the Constitution adopted after the Second World War, Japan embraced a pacifist national security doctrine. Article 9 explicitly renounces war as a sovereign right of the nation, declaring that the Japanese people forever renounce war and the threat or use of force as means of settling international disputes. For decades, this constitutional provision shaped Japan's defense policy, limiting the role of the Japan self-defense forces primarily to homeland defense. However, Japan's interpretation of these constitutional constraints has gradually evolved in response to a rapidly changing regional security environment, particularly the growing military capabilities of China. Former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was the principal architect of this shift. Throughout his tenure, he pursued a series of legislative and policy reforms aimed at expanding the operational role of the JSDF by reinterpreting, rather than amending, the constitutional restrictions governing the use of military force. This strategic transformation has unfolded over several years. Japan first incorporated standoff strike capabilities into its defense planning in 2017, elevating them to a central pillar of its national security strategy by 2020. The policy was further reinforced through the National Defense Buildup Program unveiled in 2022, which outlined plans to field domestically developed Type 12 surface-to-ship missiles with extended range, develop hypervelocity gliding projectile, HVGP systems, and acquire long-range precision strike capabilities from overseas. The integration of Tomahawk cruise missiles marks another significant step in Japan's transition from an exclusively defense-oriented posture toward one that includes a credible counterstrike capability. Japanese Defense Minister Shinjiro Koizumi has stated that the acquisition is intended to strengthen deterrence by enabling Japan to hold hostile military assets at risk should an adversary launch an armed attack. According to the minister, the ability to conduct counterstrikes is necessary to deter aggression and to respond effectively if enemy missiles penetrate Japan's layered missile defense network. JS Chōkai DDG-176 is the fourth and final ship of the Kongo-class destroyer. Commissioned in March 2002, the vessel represents the culmination of Japan's first generation of Aegis-equipped guided missile destroyers, a class developed to provide long-range fleet air defense and, following successive modernization programs, ballistic missile defense. Derived from the U.S. Navy's Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, the Kongo-class incorporates Japanese-specific combat systems and communications equipment while maintaining extensive interoperability with U.S. naval forces. The Kongo-class was conceived during the late Cold War to replace the aging Tachikaze-class guided missile destroyers and provide the JMSDF with an area air defense capability comparable to that of the U.S. Navy. The destroyer has a standard displacement of approximately 7,250 tons and a full load displacement approaching 9,500 tons. At the heart of JS Chōkai's combat capability is the Lockheed Martin Aegis weapon system, centered on the ANSPY-1D multifunction phased array radar. The destroyer's missile armament is housed within a Mark 41 vertical launch system consisting of 90 launch cells distributed between forward and aft modules. These cells accommodate a flexible mix of interceptors and anti-submarine weapons depending on operational requirements. Like the American counterparts, the Tomahawks will be accommodated in these cells. The refit of JS Chōkai was carried out at Naval Base San Diego, California, following the destroyer's arrival in October 2025. The modernization encompassed both hardware and software modifications required to integrate the Tomahawk weapon system, including upgrades to the ship's Mark 41 VLS, combat management system, and associated fire control architecture. In parallel, the ship's crew underwent extensive training with the U.S. Third Fleet to develop proficiency in Tomahawk mission planning, launch procedures, and long-range strike operations. Following completion of the modernization program, JS Chōkai is scheduled to conduct live-fire trials in August to validate the integration and operational performance of the new weapon system. Upon successful completion of these exercises, the destroyer is expected to return to its home port at Sasebo Naval Base in September, marking the beginning of its service as the first Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force vessel equipped with a long-range land attack cruise missile capability. The Tomahawk is a long-range, all-weather, jet-powered subsonic cruise missile originally developed in the 1970s by General Dynamics and today produced by RTX's Raytheon Missiles and Defense business. Roughly 5.5 meters long with a wingspan of about 2.7 meters and a launch weight in the approximately 1,300 kilograms, 2,850 pounds class, the missile is powered by a small turbofan, the Williams F-107 family in most variants, and cruises at high subsonic speeds on a low, terrain-hugging profile that makes radar detection and interception difficult. Tomahawk employs a layered, redundant guidance suite, inertial navigation, INS, backed by GPS, and long-range accuracy is enhanced by terrain contour matching, TERCOM, and digital scene matching area correlation, DSMAC, for terminal guidance. The missile's low-altitude cruise and precise terminal navigation give it excellent strike accuracy against fixed targets. It carries a roughly 450-kilogram, approximately 1,000-pound, blast fragmentation or penetrator warhead capable of crippling hardened targets. Over decades of upgrades, the Tomahawk family has evolved into highly networked, retargetable weapons. Block 4, Tomahawk Land Attack Missile, Expanded Response, added a two-way satellite data link for in-flight retasking, loitering, and battle damage assessment. The current Block 5 modernization further expands mission sets and survivability. Block 5 also incorporates improved anti-jamming measures, an upgraded mission computer, and enhanced communications for two-way satellite updates and integration with modern battle networks. It comes with two primary subvariants: Block 5A, dubbed Maritime Strike for Anti-Ship Role, and Block 5B featuring JMEWS, Joint Multi-Effects Warhead System, a two-stage warhead that combines blast fragmentation and enhanced penetration effects to defeat a wide spectrum of targets from soft assets, parked aircraft, fuel or storage areas, to hardened bunkers. Japan is believed to have acquired 200 Block 4 and 200 Block 5 missiles. This is just the beginning. The Tomahawk cruise missile will be fitted aboard 4 classes of JMSDF Aegis-equipped destroyers: Congo-class, Otago-class, Maya-class, and ASEV. From an operational perspective, Tomahawk provides the JMSDF with a standoff strike capability exceeding 1,000 kilometers, allowing high-value targets, including command and control centers, integrated air defense systems, logistics hubs, missile launch sites, and radar installations, to be engaged from well outside the engagement envelopes of most coastal anti-ship missile systems. The destroyer's mobility further enhances survivability, enabling launch operations from unpredictable locations, across the Western Pacific while complicating an adversary's targeting calculations. The integration also substantially strengthens Japan's counterstrike capability. Rather than relying solely on layered missile defenses to intercept incoming attacks, Japan can now threaten the launch infrastructure supporting those attacks. One of the most immediate consequences is the increased vulnerability of Chinese military infrastructure within the first island chain and portions of the second island chain. Depending on the launch location, Tomahawk missiles can place numerous high-value targets, including command and control centers, air bases, naval facilities, logistics hubs, ammunition depots, long-range radar installations, and missile support infrastructure within range. From an alliance perspective, Tomahawk-equipped JMSDF destroyers substantially enhance operational integration with the United States. During a regional contingency, Japanese warships could participate in coordinated long-range strike operations alongside U.S. Navy surface combatants and submarines carrying the same weapon system. This expands the number of launch platforms available to the alliance, complicates Chinese defensive planning, and reduces the burden on U.S. forces by distributing strike capability across multiple allied assets.